All right, welcome to the program. This is Richard Howe. He is chairman and CEO of Inuvo, which is a company that started in New York. It moved to Conway. It's now coming to Little Rock. It's a story we're going to get into, but welcome to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Roby. Nice to meet you.
Let's talk about what exactly does Inuvo do, because I think a lot of people are probably curious as to what the scope of all your products and services are.
You bet. The easiest way to describe it is we're really two businesses. One is a traditional digital publishing business. So here we own a collection of web properties and mobile apps in categories like health and finance and careers, education, living, a whole bunch of interest categories. I'd say our content is written for a younger audience in those digital properties. The other business is a more traditional advertising technology business. In this business, we contract with digital publishers and app owners, but we provide a service, and the service is an ad delivery service. Now, the interesting thing about our business that we are so excited about is we've done this uniquely, because there aren't that many companies who own both these two segments of a business, and there's a real good reason why we do that, and the answer is as simple as this. On our digital publishing businesses, we have the ability to actually build ad technology and play with it, try it, see if it works. And when it does work, and we can compare it to others, because we can contract with others to test, we commercialize it, and then we go out and sell it to other people. And that's our model. It's kind of an assembly line, if you will. And that's been very successful for us over the last couple of years.
What would be some digital publications some people would maybe be aware of through your company?
So the brand that we use on the digital publishing side is a brand we call A Lot, as in a lot about health, a lot about finance, a lot about careers. If you're interested in going to the web properties, you can start with health.alot.com, careers.alot.com, and so on and so forth. The domains are always that sort of structure.
Okay. So now you guys have changed to, I mean, there's just been an evolution in this whole industry and this whole business. And so I looked at your shareholders letter that you sent out at the end of last year, and just talking about some of the things that you stopped doing, some things that you are now growing and moving into. Maybe walk me through a little bit of that transformation, because it's fascinating.
The transformation is as much about our move to Arkansas as anything. So maybe I should start with that, because I'm sure the viewers would be interested in that story. And I call it the madness story, because I think we had to be mad to even contemplate doing this, Roby.
Moving to Arkansas, or doing this whole business?
But not because it's Arkansas. It's because if you think about it for a second, we're an advertising technology company centered in New York, and the intellectual capital is really the minds of the people. And we made a decision to move a company knowing full well that we'd lose everybody and have to rebuild the company. And it's not like this is $1 million a year company, it's a $50 million a year company.
It wasn't at the time you made the move, though.
It wasn't. So to even think about doing that, I think it requires a lot of fortitude and confidence that the move is going to be successful.
And madness, as you said.
And a little madness. And the good news is, look, it really worked out so well for us. And the reason it worked out is because we had planned it. We knew Arkansas. We knew the people here, because they'd worked for us at Axiom. So we knew the schools, the education, the government. So because we did get some money from the government to help us fund the move. So all of those things together were very meticulously thought out and planned. And even though we could have train wrecked it, we didn't. And the net result is the business has never been stronger, and since the day we moved here to Arkansas, it's done nothing but get stronger.
So tell me about the move from Conway to Little Rock now.
You bet. So that was also an interesting, decision on our part. We're growing so fast. We've been hiring lots of people. We're at 54 employees now, almost all of them in Arkansas. And as a result of our growth, we need more people in the company. And we were asking ourselves, where should we locate to give ourselves the best opportunity to recruit talent, not just in the state, but outside of the state, if we want to try to bring people right here to work and live with us in our community. And when we looked at all of the parameters associated with that and the decisions that we made, we said, Little Rock looks like the place to be for that reason. And of course, because we all know, because we're involved with it, there's a lot of funding going on with the tech park and various technology initiatives in the city of Little Rock. So that was the genesis.
Tell me what's transforming within the industry, though. I mean, just in terms of people and their appreciation for particular types of content, the way that they are chasing particular types of content, the way it's being delivered to them. I have a 20-year-old who gets up every morning and Flipboard is his digital newspaper for the most part. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. I have a 12-year-old who's very tech savvy. I don't think that he'll even play with that when he gets to the age of 20. So, I mean, walk me through this transformation that's going on.
Well, you're right. There is a transformation going on, and the transformation is really, been created, I think, around the millennials, who, if you have some as children, like I do, know that they're about instant information, and they've all got ADD, so they can't handle any length of time with information. So, the content, as far as the content's concerned, and we do this with our web properties, by the way, content needs to be written unlike we used to write it, which was a very detailed, organized piece, well thought out, long. Now it's like, give them 3 things and just stop,
right.
because they're not getting past the third paragraph. So there's a lot of that going on. The alerting systems is a big transformation. We're all getting information now that's sent to us. It's being pushed as opposed to what we called pull in the past, right? And I think that's a huge transformation.
And that particular segment that you're talking about right there really, to me, speaks more to customization. People are preferential about how they want that information, so they're telling their devices, they're telling their sources for news and information and everything else, here's what I want directed at me.
So
I'm opting into some of these things.
So
yes.
true.
So do you develop new products to do that, or how do you start capturing that audience with that? I mean, you can't control that chaos, can you?
You can't really control the chaos, but the thing in business that I've learned over the years is you can be aware that there's a transformation coming, and as soon as you can, get on the path to putting yourself in line with that transformation. Many of the business leaders that I've seen that haven't done as well over my career are the ones who tend to hang on too long to what they have, and as a result they end up with a problem, which, by the way, speaks to the question you first asked me about us getting out of a business before we came to Arkansas. If you recall, you asked me like 10 minutes ago, and that's exactly an example of that. When we were in New York, we had half of our business that was really, it's called a toolbar business. The viewers probably know this, from the past. It's a piece of code sits on your desktop. This is not a product people want anymore.
Right.
And 2 years ago, when I stepped back in as the CEO of Inuvo, the first thing I did was I said, we're killing this product because nobody wants this product, and I'm not going to spend any money on it. We need to go to the next place, not the old place. So just
you're showing your age there, because you're talking like Netscape or something.
I know. Well,
I'm just kidding. No, I was even further back. So where do you see the future headed? Where do you see growth opportunity? Where are you going to be, without revealing too much company secret there? Where do you see you guys pushing?
Well, the big change is the obvious change that everybody knows. Mobile had and is going to have a transformational effect on everybody. All of us are using our mobile phone or tablet to acquire information. Lesser on the desktop. It won't go away, but lesser on the desktop. And watches and what have you right now are with us constantly. Inuvo is actually launching a new product here this quarter, and it's a native advertising product. And we think that this is where advertising is going online. And the key concept around it is the advertising, in a way, almost looks less like advertising and more like content. And as a result, it integrates better with the content that's on a page.
Give me an example.
Take an article about anything. Let's say heart disease. Okay. So you've got a great article about heart disease. You might see ads on that page that some have something to do with healthcare, some may not. They may look like traditional advertising at the banner or on the side. A native advertising product would actually be typically a pretty nice looking image with some content that's specifically written about healthcare. Now, it's still an ad, but it's giving the consumer a little bit more of what it is they were interested in to get to that page to begin with. Yeah. And as a result, they click on it more. Yeah. Right? And at the end of the day, in advertising, people click on things. That's how you make money.
Does it confuse them, though, in terms of separating news from advertising?
I think there's a gray zone there. And there's always been a gray zone with advertising. Look, advertising is the way people make money. They always have, and they always will on the internet. And my view of it is, if you can give people stuff that's at least aligned with what they were interested in when they got there, you're at least one step better than giving them something they have no interest in when they're reading an article about, in this case, heart disease, right?
Yeah. So. All right, so you guys are publicly traded.
We are.
You got some news, as a matter of fact, just in the last week or so, that you're going to be part of a Russell Cap Index.
That's right, the Russell Microcap Index.
Yeah. What does that do for you? What does that?
Well, I'm just learning what that is myself, but the net of it for us is the exposure, right? So there are individuals who invest in the Russell Index, And so that gives us some additional exposure to the investment community, one. And two, those who actually buy the Russell Index, because you can, because it's really just a basket of stocks, have to purchase our stock as part of that exercise. So those two things just add to, what I would call some incremental credibility that we've been building with Inuvo over the last 2 years.
Well, I'm going to watch your revenues, I'm going to watch your profit, and I'm going to watch your stock price, and I hope they all go up.
You and me both, Roby.
All right, Rich, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.